ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cacophony. I am your host, Wolf, and I am joined by.
This is Donut Kirby, actual donut.
This is Glucose. Hello.
And this is Hey Mr. Jack, otherwise known as the Crow's Nest, lovely wacky woohoo pizza man.
Mm-hmm. And we are here to talk about RWBY Volume 7, Episode 2. So, we're a little bit late on this, in this regard. We're a bit behind. Blame Jello. With that said, we're going to. Since we're recording this by the time that episode 4 is out, I thought it would be a good idea to put the stipulation on us that we have to talk about episode 2 based on its own, without the idea of episode 3 and 4. So,
on its own merits, yeah.
So push episode 3 and 4 out of your minds. They have not happened yet. Go back in time, if you will. So. Now that you've
Gods, I was strong then.
All right, I've wiped my memory.
All right, now that we've gone back in time, episode 2. Let's start off with a few general thoughts. What did you think of it?
It was perfect. The best moment was probably, I want to say at the end, whenever Watts is sort of revealing himself.
Yes.
That or whenever Weiss and Winter finally just met up with each other again and had that nice little sister moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
this was one of those they're just standing there and talking episodes that people used to complain about back volume 4, volume 5 time. The thing about this volume is so far they've done it right. Like, first episode had a good bit of action and a little bit of exposition. This episode is just mostly exposition and character time, and I think that's what this volume needs to keep doing.
Yeah, it feels like they're actually progressing when they're standing around and talking, which is definitely how it should be.
And as far as great moments go, just every single instant that Iron Daddy was on the screen, can I get an amen in the chat?
Amen. Yeah.
Amen.
My favorite part was definitely the Watts scene at the end, and I almost want to talk about that one immediately, but we'll get to that when the time comes. Overall, I think it definitely did a good job of like setting up the plot of what I assume is going to be the plot of the volume going forward. And again, while it was mostly exposition, I felt like it felt pretty natural.
I think some of my favorite moments was a lot of just Ironwood's little small smirks and laughing at some of the things that you hear RWBY and crew say, as well as just some of the other moments. Like, it was very nice to see a lot of that. I think that was definitely probably my more favorite part. Because his background, if you will, reactions.
Yeah, and that was a surprise to me because I think everyone went into this volume afraid of Ironwood almost. Like, we were assuming he was going to be this arc's villain, and nothing is set in stone yet. We're only 2 episodes in, but he genuinely seems like he has the best intentions in mind, and that he's just rightly paranoid. I mean, considering the situation.
Well, I feel like him having the right intentions has always been like a part of his character, but I was worried going into this volume that we'd have reached the point where he was going too far or something, and I was overall pretty surprised at kind of how smoothly things have been going in these first 2 episodes, which that's a reason to be scared for what's coming later. But yeah, it was a surprise. It was a surprise.
Until then, let's enjoy good old Jimmy Steel planks while we still can.
Yeah, I have a feeling that eventually Ironwood is just gonna go off his rocker. I want to get into that whenever we start talking about his little plan.
Oh yeah, that's a bomb that's gonna go off.
Oh yeah.
Jumping straight into things, we start off with our introduction to Forrest, who totally doesn't die later.
No, he's the main. He's the new main character. What are you talking about?
Hashtag RWBY, guys. Yeah.
Woo.
But
hashtag down with Atlas.
He gives us a bit more on Robin Hill and her supposedly happy huntresses. What did you think about that little bit of spiel?
They don't sound very happy, friends.
Well,
if they were happy, they wouldn't be organizing against Ironwood.
That's true. But like first of all, we all know that that's a reference to Robin Hood, right? And the Merry Men,
right?
Called. Yeah. So interesting to see them pop up.
Might sound a bit ridiculous here, but Robin Hood, right? Pretty much stole from the rich and gave to the poor. You think we'll see Robin Hill and like her little merry band of huntresses just go ahead and start robbing the Schnee estate or something crazy like that?
Possible.
Because I can see it happening.
Well, we know from the opening that like Robin is probably going to be an ally to some extent since she's fighting Tyrion along with Crow. But I wouldn't be surprised if like she and her group kind of like the first encounter with them is as like antagonists in a sort of way, like they're trying to stop them from stealing dust or whatever, and then they come to a mutual understanding later. Mm-hmm. I feel like something like that might happen.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Because at this point, Ruby and Junior plus Oscar, like, they're not officially, but they're pretty much aligned with Atlas right now. So, all the information that they get and all the encounters they get are basically going to be from the perspective of people allied with Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely been on the side of looking at the intro that we see in episode 1 and episode 2 so far, that it looks like Crow might distance himself from Ironwood and the rest of the group, perhaps. That's been my idea, and it looks like he's definitely going to pair up with Robin and her group a bit more, and I'm curious. My thought has been because maybe he finds out that, someone in the Aesops, maybe Clover, or just, someone within Atlas in general is going to betray them or is not on the up and up, if you will. That's why he goes over, but I'm...
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that, too.
Well,
don't fully trust the Aesops yet. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, I can see one of them going turncoat.
Yeah. Anything else on Robin?
I think I've at this point I'm pretty sure like she's the character that Christina V is voicing, because like if you don't know, she's like a voice actress who like tweeted that she was voicing a new character for Volume 7, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Robin.
I hope so. I love Christina B.
I have no idea who she's voice acted as, so I can't say anything.
Wasn't she supposed to be a Edelgard and then she got replaced?
Yeah.
That always annoyed me, but that's a little off topic.
Right. But yeah, looking forward to actually seeing her.
Agreed. After that, I guess we'll jump straight into the big one that I'm sure a lot of people loved, the Weiss and Winter hug, the Schneebling hug.
It
was so sweet.
It was
one of the 2 great hugs of this volume.
The second greatest hug, if I do say so myself.
Wrong first, but anyways.
Excuse me. I'm pretty sure we're on the right episode to talk about this, unless my morning sickness has addled my brain.
I'm just looking at everything that Jello posted from last Friday.
No, I did enjoy this. A lot of people were talking about how there wasn't much Winter Weiss interaction when she was back in Atlas. And, it looks like now we're going to get more of that, and it seems that they're on a pretty good note, which is good. Sisters stand strong and all that,
I definitely need Winter. Personally, I definitely need Winter to be the one to actually initiate the hug, not Weiss. I just need to see Winter's cold-ass heart melt for once. Please give me that, Rooster Teeth.
She's always so bitchy. Like Winter is so military and all bitchy, and it's nice to see like a bit of that emotional aspect,
Yeah.
Like I loved the shock on her face and like the worry and just the relief that when she first sees Weiss when they enter Atlas Academy, right? Like I loved that from her, and then just the instant, okay, wiped clean. I'm that military person again. I loved that. That was great.
And also just you should all untie them or I'm gonna hurt you. That was great.
And
yeah,
that was pretty funny.
Smirk in that moment at Winter. That was great too.
Yeah, and them boys was quick too. Speaking of,
oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead because you were wrapping up the point. Because I wanted to move on.
I'll just say one quick thing, right? That I love how Rooster Teeth has done a lot more with their smaller emotions and body language that they've done with this season so far in these first 2 episodes. They've done a lot more with that, it feels like, and I really enjoyed that fact.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like that's something that's been a thing for a while now, where I've really noticed that they've been nailing just the little emotional details, like background stuff that isn't even that important, but it kind of adds to the experience when you notice them. I feel like they've been doing a really good job with that.
Like that wonderful little Blake and John side hug in Volume 6. That was great. I loved that. That was wonderful. But yeah, stuff like that I've really enjoyed, and it seems like they're doing more of that now in Volume 7 than that they had in Volume 6. So more of that. You're doing great with that. Keep it up. It's nice to do.
But speaking of great hugs, can we just say for a moment, Crow and Ironwood, I'm gay. Just okay. On a serious note, on a serious note, I am so glad, like I said earlier, that they're portraying Ironwood as less of hard as hell, evil military dictator, and they're showing that he's emotionally raw and vulnerable because he's been through a lot. We haven't seen the full extent of the Oz Illuminati yet. The After the Fall headmaster guy hasn't been revealed in the show yet, but Leo's dead, and
RIP.
Ozpin, as far as Ironwood knows, is dead at that point. He is the only member of the Oz Illuminati left standing that we have on screen.
Man's doing his best.
Yeah, and it does kind of make me upset that the fandom's still oh, he's on his cop shit.
I'm just
leave my son alone.
I'm sorry. I'm just waiting for that moment where he just says, "Okay, fuck you all. I'm betraying you. You lied to me," and he just stabs them in the back and reveals it. I'm just waiting for it. They're going to crush your heart and your soul, and I'm just waiting for it.
No.
Personally, I think that little nice hug between Crow and Ironwood was Ironwood's paranoid ass just putting some sort of little bug or microphone or whatever on him. That's what I'm thinking.
No, don't do me like that. No.
That hug was entirely fake. Fake hug.
Poor Crow getting his heart broken repeatedly.
I mean, think about it. Think about the Volume 3 little conversation between Crow and Ironwood. I mean, granted, Ironwood sort of had a little bit of a right to be kind of mad, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like Crow and Ironwood were on really friendly, huggy terms,
Well, yeah.
I mean, if it was with Ozpin, then sure.
Now, I will say this. As I said, the After the Fall stuff hasn't been revealed yet, so it's very possible that as far as Ironwood knows, Crow is the only other member of the Oz Illuminati left.
That's true. And also I was going to mention that that even though in Volume 3 that it's established pretty early on that the two aren't that close, but at the same time they also had that scene during the Battle of Beacon where Crow saves Ironwood and he's like, I know this wasn't your fault, so it's not like they dislike each other. They just kind of don't always see eye to eye. So I don't really think it's as deep as Ironwood never trusted Crow or anything like that. They definitely trust each other.
I mean, to some extent, but I can't.
That might have changed. Who knows? We'll see.
I mean, if you want my 2 cents, Crow sent that message about Lionheart being a traitor, obviously,
right.
But Ironwood has obviously he hasn't exactly lost it, but he's a bit more paranoid. So if Lionheart turned traitor, then there's a possibility that Crow might, or I don't know, maybe Ironwood's thinking, oh hey, maybe Lionheart wasn't a traitor and it was actually Crow. Something crazy like that.
I mean, we'll use this to jump straight into it. Ironwood's plan, right? What do you think about all of that? Because,
Hello, Sokovia. It's good to see you again. We haven't seen you since Age of Ultron.
Oh God, I didn't even think of that, but you're right.
I'm telling you that this can
that's
only
what
go
needs to
one
happen.
way, and the answer is down.
Hell yeah.
I've not seen
It's
Age of
gonna be a
Ultron,
shit
so
show.
I get that joke. Laugh, laugh, ha ha.
Very funny. Did laugh.
That's not gonna really sit well with the people because there are two things that are gonna happen. All right, Ironwood's gonna come out, whip out his iron dick, and be like, "Hey, Salem's a thing," right?
Yeah.
Exactly like that. And people
exactly.
are going to call him batshit crazy, unless if he whips out the artifact of the relic of creation and just starts creating weird shit, and he's like, "This is proof," which I doubt he'll do. But if anything, he'll just come out and be like, "Salem's a thing," and people are again going to call him crazy, and he's probably going to lose that. Oh wait, no, I can't talk about that yet.
It hasn't happened yet. It doesn't exist.
Hasn't happened yet.
We're in
Doesn't
the past.
exist yet.
What are you
My
talking
bad.
about?
I'm sorry. We time travel. We're shitty time travelers, everyone. Or B, everyone's gonna go batshit crazy, and there's gonna be so much grim that the Atlas military can't deal with it all. Because they're protecting Atlas and Mantle.
Yeah, you also make a good point though. Like, has Ironwood has he mentioned like how he's going to prove that Salem exists? Like, did he say anything beyond just that I'm going to tell everyone that this god of evil exists and is trying to kill us all, or is he going to say I'm going to prove it with?
He just said I'm going to tell them that Salem exists.
Right. Yeah.
So how he plans on doing that, we do not know. Maybe
he has pictures. Probably will involve the relic of creation. I would imagine it would involve that somehow.
Either that or
he has an artist's rendition of Salem.
That might be why he wanted the as we saw they took the relic from RWBY. That may be why they wanted the lamp.
Well, then he gave it back.
Oh.
Yeah, once we'll segue into that, but
Ironwood's on screen just holds up an image. This is an artist's rendition of Salem. It's just a pale figure.
It's just a stick figure of grim.
I'm not blind, people. This is real.
Just the Alex Jones voice. This is the quiet, people.
Attorney's a good guy.
What do I do, Salem? Destroy the child. Corrupt them all. This is God, my throat hurts. Okay.
I mean, now that like I'm thinking about it, Ironwood could easily just whip out Jin and be like, and like have a camera just recording her and being like, "All right, tell the world the truth about Salem," which would also go poorly.
That's also not a question, so I don't think he can do that.
He could frame it as, "Can you tell us the truth about Salem?" or something like that.
Oh God, then that's going to reveal the thing that he doesn't know too, though.
Oh,
which gets into a fun little theory I have. Watts is obviously going to hack into CTOS and with his phone, and whenever he hacks into CTOS, he's going to go ahead and take care of DedSec and all that, and then he's going to be like, "Salem is immortal, hun 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 hun," and then he's going to leave.
That's going to happen.
And transitioning, I think this is a good transition point into our next one. RWBY has been a naughty little girl, hasn't she?
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Oh boy, yeah, let's talk about that.
I'll tell you, I knew that this would come. I didn't think they were going to do it, but they did, and I gotta admit, it made me cringe a little bit. I wasn't expecting. I'm like, damn, because this is something that we've never really seen RWBY do before. She's always, she's the cape for the team. She's the goody two shoes comic book superhero. Just for great justice and all that. And she's just like, we can't trust Ironwood with the knowledge that Salem can't be destroyed by conventional means.
And we can't trust him with the information about the relic still having one more question available.
Yeah.
I mean, they also committed a crime last volume, but yeah, I agree. I get it. This is a different section.
By the way,
yeah. Well, sometimes.
By the way, still love that Iron would laugh at RWBY telling them, "Okay, yeah, we stole the ship." Still love that. That was great. That Iron would laugh. That was wonderful.
He doesn't give a shit.
Nope. But I think like it's going to be some interesting character development for RWBY because for the longest time I feel like she's had this very, I guess you'd say, overtly positive look of hunters in general, right? Of they're the heroes. Of they're not, they're not the bad guys. They're the heroes. They can do no wrong, right? Like she excuses a lot of the stuff that even her uncle does with all of the drinking and everything because he's a hunter, so he can't be all that bad, right? So it's interesting to see her muddy that perspective somewhat by line because that's not something a hero would do, a quote unquote.
And compare that to Volume 3, where, despite the fact that, it was obvious to anybody who's been watching the show long enough that there's something off about Emerald and Mercury, she still went out of her way to be friends with them. And in Volume 5, she actually tries to convince Emerald, hey, what you're doing is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, I mean, she's slowly changing into, she's sort of doing wrong here by keeping the truth from Ironwood and all that.
Well, I feel like this is a good way of, I guess, addressing the whole point of, was Ospen really in the wrong? Like, was it justified for everyone to be angry at him? Because now they're being forced into like the same situation as him, and they're like almost on instinct, like making the same choices because to them that just seems like the most logical decision in the moment because they don't it would be dangerous to tell Ironwood the one thing that would instantly bring his whole plan crashing down.
I mean, here's the thing though. I mean, she's probably not gonna tell him, judging by Ironwood and Oscar going at it in the intro. Like, shit, fucking fist fight.
I mean, that could be those two training, right? That's a little bit unclear, so it's hard to say. Like, that could be Ironwood's idea of, we're going to bring Ospen out by beating the shit out of you.
That would be funny if he says that.
I want to hear Jason Rose say that. Now, Oscar, we're going to get Ospen out of you by beating the ever-loving piss out of you.
You better say those exact words.
So bad.
No, even better. Let Penny say it.
Oh, God.
No.
I've been directed by the General to beat the ever-loving fuck out of you.
Oh, God.
Do not take this out of context at all.
To just go ahead and, like, gang up on a poor Oscar.
This poor kid. But I do want to point out, like, this is why, like, in this conversation, right, you hear, RWBY tell, Ironwood these lies and everything, and he's just kind of in front of Oscar, and his response is, right, and he walks away and facing away from them all and everything. I kind of love that, and this is where I get the feeling that Ironwood doesn't completely feel that they've told him the truth, and that he realizes they're not telling him the complete truth. Because the body language and just the way he does that sells to me this idea of, okay, he doesn't fully believe them either. He knows they're not telling them he knows they're not telling him something.
Yeah, there's it's quite suspicious in a few aspects. Like some of the things he said. Let me look up I'm looking at the transcript to see exactly what he said.
He said,
I don't know, you just keep talking, I guess.
Like in front of RWBY, he said, right. And then he walks away and says, that's what Ospen told us once upon a time.
Yeah, exactly that. He's like, that's what Ospen told us.
You know they're not, you know it. You can tell they're lying to you about something. You may not know what, but you know they're lying to you. I feel like he knows, and that's why I feel like the hug may not have been completely on the up and up, and that was Ironwood planting a bug or a listening device, That's why.
Yeah. That'll hurt me so much.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And also when Ironwood gives her back the relic, he's like, I don't want you to think that I'm keeping anything from you. Yeah, but after
that did feel kind of pointy.
That seems. I don't know if that's intentional, but if it is, You know, he's
it's
kind
definitely
of like
intentional
guilt
on the
tripping
writer's
them.
part, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like, if that was intentional on Ironwood's part, like he meant to do that just to like rub that salt in the wound, like, damn, you know.
What a savage!
But I guess anything else?
You know why he has 2 seats on the council, right?
That right there.
One for each ball.
Oh God. Moving on. Is there anything else you would like to talk about it in regards to Ruby's line or Ironwood's plan?
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
It's a bold move. Let's see how it works out for them.
Good to know.
I'll
Cotton.
try lying. That's a neat trick.
She learned it from you, Ospen. But moving on, we got a much better impression of the Aesops in this episode. What did you think?
I do not trust Clover.
I don't either. Thank you for agreeing with me.
The only Aesop that I can trust unconditionally at this moment is Hair.
Thank you.
Like
We're in
Hair.
complete agreement.
Okay, first of all, their weapons are all cool. Like I like all of their weapons thus far.
You're going into the
Except
future.
for I don't like Clover's.
We haven't seen that.
Not in episode.
No, oh
2.
yeah, that's right. It was episode 3.
We haven't
We're
seen
in
them
the
yet.
past.
The only weapon we've seen is Clover's, because he came around out of nowhere with that stupid little fishing pole and all that crap.
Excise this from the transcripts.
I didn't even realize that was his weapon. Actually, I thought it was just like a military device, or something.
Demon, use a hando to wipe this from the record.
No, it's all in. Going all in. We're in the past.
We'll do it live.
Future things.
But we can talk about. I mean, like we see like Elm's weapon because she uses it in the intro. Like we could talk about that.
True.
You know, we can see the ones we can see what's in the intro.
We called her Hammer Mama, for Christ's sake.
That's true.
Yeah, Hammer Mama, step on me. That's all. But no, I don't trust really any of them except Elm. Elm and Harriet.
So
I just
go ahead.
like, especially Clover. You just get this aura of smug from him. Like
Yeah.
I know for a fact, because I saw this all over the fandom the day this episode dropped, that he reminds everyone of Cardin.
I didn't see that actually, but I can't unsee it now.
I can see them all.
He's like Cardin, but not a dick.
He's Chad Cardin.
Chad Cardin versus Incel Cardin.
Oof.
It's Cardin, but stronger.
Well,
nah.
What did you think about their designs?
They all look pretty cool. I like their designs.
Who was your favorite?
Probably Harriet. It is actually the first time we see a nice little dog, wolf. I'm pretty sure he's dog.
He's dog, yeah, he's definitely
wolf dog.
Since they're based off of the Aesop's fables, right? I think it's
Yeah.
Wolfaunus because of the big bad wolf, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the Aesop fables.
Is that confirmed? I don't know.
The big bad wolf is not an Aesop fable. It's a German fable.
Yeah, but there's a wolf or a dog and one of the two in one of the Aesop's fables, if I'm not mistaken. Like
the Aesop's fable, you're thinking is the dog in the mirror or something like that.
Well, the thing is, right? I still think he's more of a dog, but I can't say that because the reason I think that is because of something that hasn't happened yet. So can't really give my opinion on that. I guess
what we do here is go back.
I've got
just realized I fucking called Marrow
dog in the mirror.
Yeah.
Just realized I said Harriet, not fucking Marrow.
But I don't really like Hammer Mama's design that much though. Like as cool as she is very
upset with that one.
Okay. She and Clover just look so generic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Clover is my least favorite. Like just Clover. Like the thing with Clover is that when he showed up in the trailer for Volume 7, like because the last shot of the trailer is just when he like takes the relic from Ruby. I thought he was just supposed to be some random foot soldier who never shows up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was actually going to be an important character. So he's definitely my least favorite just in terms of design.
But like you look at Hare, who has the really cool mohawk with the the little
white resemble little rabbit ears.
Yeah, the bunny tuft on the front. You know, Vine has the crystals, whatever those are supposed to be in his head. Marrow is Dog Boy.
Yeah, they all look cool for the most
Marrow's
part.
a good
And
boy.
then you just have the white guy. That's pretty much Clover's design in a nutshell.
I think it works for him though because he's supposed to be like this good luck charm character. So I think it kind of works for him that he's, very basic in his design. Like he very much doesn't stand out in a way, right? It kind of
went a little far ahead there, Demon.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's wearing a 4-leaf clover and his name is Clover, so I can say that he's got this good luck.
Okay, so you can play fast with the rules, Mr. Moderator, man.
I mean, this is pretty much what
Doesn't
people
he have like a rabbit's foot as well, which is like a symbol of good luck? Or am I wrong?
He does.
Yeah.
It's on his sign that he's wearing it.
Also his like surname. I'm pretty sure that's a reference to like Ebi. Pretty sure that's short for Ebisu, which is like the Japanese god of luck. So I think that's what that's supposed to mean.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely say Harriet is, just based off of that little scene alone, I think Harriet's my favorite. And I think a lot of people fell in love with Marrow as well, with the
Harriet and Marrow. Those are my favorites.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people fell in love with Marrow with the little to-sun tail wag thing going on.
Hell yeah.
I don't like the fact that you're here wagging tail, like, okay, you're gonna be a fun character, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, sweet boy.
I mean, if there's any one of those Aesops that I don't want to either die or turn to traitor, it would be him. I just think he's the most wholesome one.
Dead. Like the moment I looked at Hair, I had flashbacks to my introduction to this series in Volume 3, and my first introduction to Death Flags. I'm just like, no, Hair's dead. Hair is dead.
Spiteful because I'm trying to take the Iron Crow hug away from you. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I will mentally influence Miles.
I can. Wait, no, that's right. I can't. I want to say something so bad, but like the only reason why I'm saying it is because of something that happened in episode 3.
Stop
this
it.
This is painful. This is painful.
But we can't. I know it sucks, but we can't. You'll have to come on to the episode where we cover episode 3 and just be there and say it then.
Feels bad, bro. Feels bad.
But I guess if that's all about Aesops.
Yeah, that's about it. Actually.
Oh, are we gonna talk about Rooster Teeth's new game?
Go for it. Jump right in.
Oh man, so I can't believe that Rooster Teeth is releasing a game called Watch Dogs. Personally, I think it's a terrific game. I can't believe it.
Okay, I was actually thinking like, wait, where is this going? And then
I gotta admit, the main character is a very interesting design. God, I'm so glad we finally get to see Watts doing things. Like,
yes.
We saw Tyrion, he became a fan favorite. Spoiler alert, he's not even close to my favorite. In fact, I kind of dislike him, but that's for a story for another day. But Watts, like, I have been waiting with bated breath for this man to do something, and he just fucking causes pile-ups. He's so petty. I love him.
Yeah, he was my favorite when we first got a look at the other new villains in the first episode of Volume 4, and I have also been waiting for him to actually be relevant. Seemed like Volume 5 was going to be his time to shine, but no.
No. Instead, most of the scenes he was in the previous volumes was just like him twirling his mustache and being like, I'm evil.
I'm evil, yeah.
I think he has like 3 lines in all of last volume. I'm pretty sure the only things he says like in Volume 6 are like he says, "How could you know that?" when Salem says that Cinder is alive, and then in episode 9 he's like, "Oh, Tyrion, we're going to Atlas." That's literally all he says.
Yeah, pretty much.
He had to save it all for this. He had to save it all for that walk and that glow up. God damn, that glow up from Rooster Teeth on just. Hey, we're gonna just reveal the umbrella sliding back. That was a great glow up. Like
he was storing all his energy for this moment.
That one moment. That's it. That's what we got. That's all. We're not gonna get anything that's that good from him again.
And
this
he
is proof
fabulous.
That Watts is gay. This is proof. No straight man would go through this much effort to be A, hot, and B, a petty little bitch.
Fair enough.
You didn't just imagine. You didn't have to do that to that poor van,
No.
but he did it just to watch the world burn. I love it.
Also, by the way, Watt's talking about how we need to stay mobile, we need to stay undercover. Absolutely just screwing with every system he can find while he's doing that. Totally staying undercover really well there, Watts.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, he developed like the whole Atlas programming.
Still, yeah.
I mean, I can almost see that as just another case of him just being the most arrogant son of a bitch imaginable. It's like, you need to worry about staying mobile. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
This is fair. I mean, he does.
No, Tyrion, you behave. I can be a bad boy if I want.
But yeah, like that was really well done on their part. Some really good stuff from Watts there.
Oh man, that scene was amazing.
With him and Tyrion too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I don't really like Tyrion that much, but their dynamic is very good.
Yeah,
very
great.
Mm-hmm.
It's very.
I look forward to. I hope we see more of them just being tired of each other's shit the whole time,
but still just working well together.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they both.
They're the perfect couple.
They both hate the way each other does things, but yet it still works really well for them.
Yeah, because Watts is there to kind of handle the subterfuge, while Tyrion, as we saw, he's definitely more in the wet work.
Yeah, very very wet and red, as a matter of fact.
Mm.
That was a lot of blood at the end.
Yeah, wet, and we're not talking about water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything else?
Well, I just want to bring up something I guess I feel before Volume 7 started. Like I said that I thought that the villain plot of Volume 7 would be like that Watts and Tyrion would each try to, I guess, cause trouble in either Atlas or Mantle. Like Tyrion would cause havoc in Mantle, and Watts would kind of try to manipulate the people at the top in Atlas, and almost try to incite a civil war or something. Because I felt like these two are very different, so their sets of skills would probably be more suited to one of either Atlas or Mantle.
Way I see it, I mean, they're going after Ironwood.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Watts is probably going to be handling all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I can see the two just planning out some assassination, because you have Watts, who is just hacking into everything with his scroll and all that. Just another good old game of Watts Dogs, and Tyrion's just going to go in all discreet and Tyrion-like, and he's going to try and kill Ironwood.
Well, he did talk about how Atlas itself, security-wise, was harder to deal with than Mantle. How they hadn't updated or did anything to Mantle, apparently, security-wise.
True, but, I mean, I imagine that Watts, with, enough time, could easily just go around. I mean, this is the same dude who, most likely anyway, hacked into all those Atlesian Knights and Paladins, and who knows what other Atlas technology that he hacked into.
It's likely that, looking back, it's likely he's the one who was responsible for the CCT worm that Cinder used in Volume 2.
Wasn't that confirmed? I don't remember if it was actually said, but I know that because that logo that was on Cinder's scroll was
it doesn't have the W. Doesn't have the W on it.
I feel like it was kind of soft confirmed in a way.
Yeah. So he definitely has the capability. It's does he have the time, and does he have the chance? Because as we saw, Ironwood's plan is it's ready to go. He's ready to get it in motion.
Mm-hmm.
So with the new satellite up there, I can see him doing something spooky from Mantle. I mean, all he has to do is just do a little bit of elite hacking and all that, and maybe he finds some record of it. That, or he's gonna notice a midi arena somewhere, right?
There's no way you can miss something that big.
No. So I guess I want to bring up one question, and that is are they really is the villain plot this time just going to be hack the machines again? Because that's pretty much what they did in Beacon, just hack the Atlas technology and let the chaos unfold. Is the villain plan really just going to be that again? I feel like they're going to mix things up a lot more.
But that being said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I mean, like, from an in-universe perspective, sure, but from a writing perspective, you don't want the villains to just keep doing the same plan again and the heroes falling for it again and again. That's not very interesting.
I feel like it's going to be somewhat reactive. The villain plan this season is. It's going to be starting off with them trying to just cause havoc and just incite more negative emotions, drawing more grim, and trying to just weaken Atlas's military slowly but surely like that. For what we saw in Volume 6, Salem's inevitable invasion with those other Grimm that she's been, developing and creating, right? So I think that's going to be the goal, and then they're going to find more information out about the, Ironwood's plan through some means or other.
And they're going to have to deal with that directly instead of, the heroes having to... Because it seems like right now, even with Watts and Tyrion doing their thing, at least... if we're looking at the board objectively, it looks like the heroes are ahead, if only by a couple of steps.
This is true.
Right.
It definitely feels like the villains are playing a bit more on the back foot in terms of trying to catch up and figure out what's going on than what the heroes are.
Because Haven was, it wasn't exactly a success, We all know what happened to Adam, the Spring Maiden got away.
Well, even Beacon wasn't like a full success because they didn't get the relic. We still don't know what's going on with that, but the point is that Salem doesn't have it yet. So can that even really be considered a full win?
Yeah, and Kevin is still stuck.
And also, like the successful part of that operation was that they got the Fall Maiden on their side. But now, like, Cinder's kind of like,
Cinder's in the wind, and
she's not. She's in exile or whatever. So I guess
and
she's not
Oz pretty much reincarnated real quickly.
Yeah, so when you think about it, like, all the major victories they got from Beacon have all kind of been nullified at this point.
At this point, all they did was kill a bunch of people and bust up a school.
Yeah.
Yay.
Like good job. You've accomplished what, maybe a terrorist attack would. Like, that's about it. Like a small terrorist group.
Round of applause for Salem.
Okay. Any other thoughts that we would like to that you're burning to share?
Watch Dogs is a very good game. I am so happy to hear that Rooster Teeth is developing video games again.
Again.
Now, I will say one thing I'm looking forward to this volume is the whole new dynamic that the heroes seem to have. Because, again, this is the first time that they really have help from the get-go. And, it's not like Gira and the good parts of the White Fang help. It's Atlas, Atlas has resources.
It's the Atlas military.
Yeah, nobody else in the series has. Like, not even Beacon had these resources. So the heroes are definitely, for once, they are in a position where, they've got most of the cards. Problem is, it is obvious that Ironwood isn't exactly sure he can trust them, and they know for a fact they can't, or Ruby at least knows for a fact she can't trust Ironwood.
Or feels like, anyways. It's going to be very curious to see how the very flimsy house of cards that they've set their castle on top of completely crumbles and falls around them. Is it going to be due to the mistrust they have for one another? Is it going to be due to something else?
That's true. We don't really know how it's going to happen.
Very good setup, I feel, for the later half of the volume, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to see. What I'm interested in is, I remember hearing Rooster Teeth and all were pretty much saying, hey, Volume 7 is going to have like a lot of betrayal. So I'm wondering who's all going to be doing some actual betraying here.
Wait, was that actually what they said?
I something like that?
Gonna be some spooky intrigue.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looking forward to that.
Well, if that's everything and we're done talking about this episode.
I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
All right then.
I think that's pretty much it for like if we're just talking about this episode on its own and not any of the other episodes that haven't come out yet.
Nope.
Remember, we are in the past.
Yeah.
Yes. We come from the future.
It is not November 24th, 2019. There is no war, I can say.
Now, I definitely got to delete that because you can't date the episodes. You can't do that.
How can you not date the episode? Like it'll say the day it was uploaded.
Ignore him. It does not say that.
There is no war in Boxing Day.
With all of that said, this has been the Cacophony. We hope you've enjoyed. I've been your host, Wolf, and I've been joined by
Donut Kirby,
Glucose Guardian.
Hey, Mr. Jack.
And we hope you enjoy. We hope you tune in next time when we cover RWBY Volume 7, Episode 3. Until next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.